Let's hear from the big man. Talk some NBA here on the program. You can hear him on the morning show once a week as well, but be sure you follow him on twitter.com/bballinsider for some good NBA tips and thoughts. Former Olympian as well, it's Dwight Walton. What's up, Dwight?
What's happening, Matthew? A little Craig back, flavor in the air coming in after the break. I like that very much. Thank you.
There you go. Now, Dwight, you're not reffing, you're not playing. What gives? If you're living and breathing, aren't you usually doing one of those things on the weekend?
On a Sunday night, yes, but now the summer leagues have started, so I play in two different leagues on Mondays and Wednesdays, and I referee most of the time on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. So the summer league schedule is a bit different.
Ah, all right. So nice little rest on Sundays.
Yes, and it gave me more of an opportunity to thoroughly enjoy this Golden State San Antonio Spurs game we just finished watching, and that was quite the battle this afternoon, and the Golden State Warriors came out on top.
You know, Dwight, I'm so happy for those fans who really deserve some playoff action. It kind of reminds me of those teams in the early 2000s in Sacramento when you had, the fun Kings who really never got over the hump against the Lakers. But at the same time, it was just exciting and fun. The only thing missing, I guess, is the cowbell here in Golden State. But a nice yellow crowd and an exuberant, fun team to watch, a high-scoring team, high-paced team. Now, we were talking about this prior to you coming on. It looked like perhaps Golden State could have been up easily in this series 2-1, but they trailed it coming into this game. It was a victory here, and now this thing is all squared up. Your thoughts on where it should be? Should it be 3-1 Golden State, in your opinion?
Well, here's the deal, Matthew. If you've been following this series, absolutely. Game one, they had a 16-point lead with about 4 minutes to go in game one, and they goaded the lead away and lost in double overtime. They still had a shots to win in that game one, but didn't win it. A lot of people thought that team would fall apart, but they've been a resilient group the entire season. They came back to be up by 20 at the half and to hold on for the game 2 win in San Antonio. Then they kind of came out flat. I think in the back of their minds, they kind of assumed that the San Antonio Spurs would crumble under the Oracle Arena spell in Oakland on Friday night. But the Spurs they have hearts of champions, and they're champions for a reason. They've got Greg Popovich, one of the best coaches in the NBA of all time, and they've got 3 future Hall of Famers on their team, and Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and Tim Duncan, of course. So they came out and they executed on Friday night. But I got to give the Golden State Warriors a whole lot of credit this afternoon. They seem to be struggling. The Spurs had them on lockdown defensively. I still think they shot about 38 or 39% for the game today. But over the final 10 minutes of this game, they outscored the Spurs 25-7. And they totally out-executed the Spurs in the overtime period, which was a shock to me. I figured that the Spurs, with the more experience and the better coaching staff, would do a better job in the overtime period. But they were outscored 13-3, and now we're going back to San Antonio and the Riverwalk tied at 2. Should be a great final 3 games of the series.
Dwight, looking at the Indiana-New York Knicks series, which is quite the bore. I mean, it lacks the Reggie Miller. It lacks the Reggie Millers and Spike Lees of the world and Hayward Workmans, if you want to throw his name in there.
Yeah.
Look at the Knicks, and watching them play, obviously we all know Carmelo's the guy for them, the forefront guy for them. But what has to happen for the Knicks now going back into Game 4 here for them to readjust? Is it more minutes for Amari Stoudemire? Is it more touches for everyone else? Because we all know, Dwight, this is a streak team with a 3-point shot here. They're either hot or they're way off on some nights.
Well, like you said, listen, Mo, they attempt 29 3-pointers per game during the regular season. They only attempted 11 last night. The Pacers are doing a considered effort to chase them off the 3-point line because they firmly believe that they don't have that the Knicks don't have enough low post scoring unless Carmelo Anthony truly lives in a low block for the entire night. I'm not sure he wants to do that because he's being beaten up on the defensive end if he has to guard David West. I think his legs are getting a little bit tired. And truth be told, if Carmelo Anthony and J.R. Smith, who's been just horrid since his Game 4 suspension in the Boston Celtics series, those two guys don't score, who else are you going to get the scoring from? I'm not sure Tyson Chandler has really fully recovered from his neck injury. He's been ill. He's lost, I think, 10 to 15 pounds over that sickness little period that he had there. They're not really getting any much scoring from anybody else. Pablo Prigioni's done a good job. Raymond Felton struggled last night. But all it takes is for J.R. Smith and Carmelo Anthony to get on a hot streak, which they're going to have to do in Game 4 if they're going to want to have any chance in this series. Tyson Chandler was embarrassed by Roy Hibbert last night. Roy Hibbert was fantastic, not only in scoring the basketball, but protecting the rim and rebounding on both ends of the floor. So if the Knicks don't get any kind of scoring opportunities out of Carmelo Anthony or J.R. Smith, they're in big, big trouble for the rest of the series.
Dwight, the Heat are up 2-1 on the Chicago Bulls in that series. What do the Bulls have to do better in Game 4 to tie this thing up?
Get healthy. That, to me, is the bottom line. I think they've overachieved. They've overachieved basically because Tom Thibodeau preaches defense. That's why they're able to stay in these games. But they're undermanned. They're playing 6, sometimes 7 players a night. They don't have enough. And unless they get Luol Deng, which I don't think they will, Kirk Heinrich, and or Derrick Rose back in the fold, it's going to be tough. They're going to be competitive. They're going to compete only because of what they can do on the defensive end. Nate Robinson has given them a tremendous spark on the offensive end, obviously. Marco Bellinelli has been fantastic. And I don't have enough words to say about Joakim Noah, who's been, just been fantastic. Carlos Boozer has been inconsistent, doesn't defend well enough for my liking to even play in the fourth quarter. I know he has to be on the floor for his offensive capabilities for the Bulls to have any chance. But unless they get healthy in this series, and even if they did, it still would have been a tough road to hoe against the great Miami Heat. But they've got to get healthy. But I give them credit because they compete, because they defend so well on the defensive end.
Do I look at the Memphis OKC series, pardon me, see that 10 times in a row. You look at this, and the memory that comes up to my mind here with no Russell Westbrook in the line for the Thunder is that you have Kevin Durant, who essentially has become the Allen Iverson for the Thunder here. What can the Thunder do to readjust now moving ahead here? Because you look at the pesky Grizzlies and how well they've played, it seems like they have no answer for the interior forwards of the Grizzlies' attack.
Well, you know what, Mo? I've been extremely critical, as you've noticed, of Russell Westbrook, the point guard. I haven't been critical of Russell Westbrook, the basketball player in general. What the Thunder are missing here are his point production in the games. Yes, he may over-dribble at times. Yes, he may take away shots from Kevin Durant. But Kevin Durant needs Russell Westbrook's point production in order for the Thunder to be successful. Yes, they're a pretty good defensive team, but unless Kevin Martin is more consistent on the offensive end, it's going to be Kevin Durant or bust as far as the Thunder are concerned. And I think the one player who's suffering the most from Russell Westbrook's absence is Serge Ibaka. A lot of screen roll was run with Ibaka and Westbrook, and if Westbrook came off that corner, off that screen clean, he was obviously going to the basket. But if there was any resistance in the paint, he would stick it out or swing it out to Serge Ibaka for that jump shot that he's become pretty much money at as of late from 12 to 18 feet. Serge Ibaka isn't getting those same shots. He has a few open shots here and there, but he hasn't shot the ball as well as he had. So if I'm Kevin Durant, I demand the basketball even more than he's been getting it during this stint here. If he has to go out and take 40 shots in a game for the Thunder to win, he's got to do it because he's had a fantastic and an efficient season at that, where he's shooting at least 50% from the field. So if he's going to take 40 shots, he's going to make at least 20. So that would be 40 points. He's going to get to the free throw line. If he has to be more of a dominant player with the basketball for them to win, that's what he has to do. But on the flip side of that, defensively, it's going to be a tough road to hoe for the Thunder because they're just being punished by Marc Gasol and Zach Randolph on the interior. And Michael Conley Jr. has had a coming out party in this series. He's been fantastic, coming off screen roll, containing his dribble, never giving up his dribble, barely turning the ball over, and he's either scoring for himself or setting up his players for fantastic shots around the perimeter. So it's going to be tough for the Thunder to come back in this series. I think they will, but at the end of the day, I think Memphis will go on to the Western Conference Finals.
He is Dwight Walton. You can hear him next on the morning show Thursday, the 9 o'clock hour, correct?
That is right, 9:05.
9:05 on Thursday. Follow him on twitter.com/bballinsider as we continue to find out if the Heat can indeed repeat as champs. Enjoy the game tonight, Dwight, and I mean Boston, of course. You're a Bruins fan, and
Yes,
we'll
sir.
talk to you soon.
Thank you very much, Matthew. You guys have a great week.